he follows me and DM'd me one time. I'll have to look back and see what it was. And then I told him about my music. This is before my new album came out, which kind of sucks because like when I'm telling people before this album came out, I didn't really have that much to show people. So I would just have to be like, you got to trust me, you know.
One day.
But yeah, so now I'm trying to like engage with his posts and because he's the type that would have me on or would at least talk about my music. You know what I mean? So
I'm trying to get on his Latino-centric one. It's my duty.
Does he do that?
Yeah, he has one called
Calling.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to be on his podcast.
It's okay, JJ. We'll tell you after the podcast.
JJ,
You don't seem desperate on air.
You and I,
We don't
JJ,
want you
you
to
and I have
sound,
a lot
you
more
know.
in common. The Irish are the Mexican of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know as much about the Mexicans play as I do the Irish because you know I'm selfishly invested in the Irish one. But
You need to know just enough to know that you know we were slaves, and that means we don't have to care about anyone else ever.
Someone else who is English took our land, and we're really
Not
Catholic.
even that. Not even that. You just saw a meme of like some white guys in chains from like the late 1800s, and just assume that's what that was.
That was just a screenshot of
It's
the Braveheart.
just Braveheart.
And now,
Okay.
now versus then, no can't get pride.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Bo, he, him.
I'm Dennis, he, they.
Charlie, she, her.
And joining us today is our lovely friend, our beautiful friend, JJ Demon.
I'm JJ Demon, he, him.
Thank you, JJ, for your pronouns and for joining us.
Of
today.
course.
JJ, we're so happy to have you. We've been trying to coordinate an episode for a little bit, and the past couple weeks have not been good to us. But you finally made it. We're all here together, and we're ready to you know have a grand old time with you.
I'm
as
here.
always.
Rock and roll.
We've, as usual, you know, we've blocked out 30 minutes at the end for you to tell, you know, whichever story we get into this week.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry about the previous couple of weeks. I was being people were saying slurs to me, and people were oppressing me for my Irish heritage. When stuff like that happens, I become inconsolable, and I just wasn't able to come on. I would have started lashing out, calling you Brits, limeys, things of this nature. So, you know, it was better that I didn't come on. Yeah, it was better I didn't come on, but I'm on now.
Breathers,
Right? I've made peace with my victimization, and
And here we are.
Hell yeah! Well, JJ, congratulations on releasing.
Thank
another
you.
Album.
thank you very much. I would love if this was my only album.
Yeah, it fucking slaps. Yeah.
I mean, you technically have another one, but we don't talk about it.
Well, I have
I
a
I talk
couple
about it.
actually. I sort of do have a discography. And there was one I released a couple years ago that I like that I'm also proud of, but it was like more trappy. I was sort of going through a phase where I wanted it to be super dark and trappy and bassy, and I carried some of that over to this new one, but mostly it's a little more raw and like a little more boom bop-ish, you know.
Yeah, I think all your music is amazing from the, you know, your 2010 to 2021. All of it's good. The new album fucking slaps. The new album has it has all the energy that was it The Great Satan? Was that the one that they were playing at all the protests? Yeah, it has that energy,
Yes.
but the whole album.
That's what I was trying to do, man. Yeah, I'm really proud of this. It's weird because I mean this isn't a secret, but a lot of times when people release music, they've had it for a long ass time. So I've heard all these songs so much, but it's cool because when I release it now, I was sick of them like on Thursday, but then Friday when I start getting the feedback from everybody, it's like I'm hearing them for the first time again. So I was listening to it straight through over and over, walking to the gym and shit. So it was cool. It's like it's reborn for me.
JJ's trying to also pump those numbers on Spotify, okay?
It's a genuine question. I'm on Bandcamp. Can I buy this album somewhere? Or do I have to stream
You
it?
know, I got to figure this out because I do have an album on Bandcamp. It's not my new one. I have one that's like exclusive there from many, many years ago that I probably wouldn't like if I listened to it now. But I don't know if I'm able to put it on. Can I put it on Bandcamp now?
I don't see why not. I don't know how to do that. Don't you just upload it to Bandcamp?
If it's on other streaming services? Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you already have it on all the other streaming services, if you can also put it on Bandcamp. But I guess you can. So
I mean, it's your music, isn't it?
If anything, they'll just take it down.
yeah, that's more what I was saying. Like, I just don't know if there's like some kind of rule where it has to be exclusive there.
If you put shit on streaming services, do they actually like make you keep it exclusive for a while before you can like sell it to people?
Yes, sometimes they do.
Jeez.
Sometimes, yeah, it
of course I
depends.
should expect that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of deal you have. But I mean, obviously, I didn't have any deal. I was. As soon as this album came back to me all the way mixed, I uploaded it that night because I've been wanting to put this out for so long. But yeah, to answer your question, I do want to put it on Bandcamp, and I'm going to try to do that as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. I literally don't stream anything, and I'm like, cool. Can I get it?
I'm gonna purchase it and I'm gonna stream it. Get you all those dollars.
It's true.
Thank you, good sir. And also, you know what some people have been doing is just sending me $15 on PayPal and then streaming the album regularly. This was started by started by a good comrade. I'm not asking for that. I'm just mentioning that some other person that's really smart, attractive, cool, and is sort of doing the kind of practice I think we all should be engaged in, frankly.
Now, JJ, as someone who I'm an outsider to music industry. I'm a fan of music generally, sure, but I don't know the business. If someone were to send you, say, $30, $40, $50,
it'd be the same sort of a deal. Just that person probably would be more attractive than the one previous, and also cooler, and that's also
would
better
their dick or
practice.
tits be? Would they be like huge, or would they just be like a normal
Well,
size?
it depends it depends if they want them to be bigger, then they will be bigger. If they want them to be a little smaller, they'll be a little smaller. It's really up to that person and how much money they send me directly. So
there's a lot of options. That's what the listener
Right.
wants these days.
For every dollar you send to JJ Demon, your body sort of transforms into some sort of androgynous Pinocchio thing.
Yeah.
it really is weird.
Way
It
cheaper
really is
than
weird, but
hormones.
it's been happening.
Androgynous Pinocchio.
So we'll put JJ's like Venmo or PayPal or however to get that in the description. Yeah, and then just stream it.
And then you just fucking
Y'all are cool.
stream.
Like Joe.
Yeah. Play it for all your friends. Put it on in traffic. Blast it over the whole, the whole highway that you.
Yeah, I mean, like, joking aside, I just want people to hear this because it's good. Like, it's a really good album. I just want more people to hear it because I know that there's an audience for it, and I want this album to find its audience.
Which is, theoretically, everyone who listens to us, we think that you would love JJ's album. Because obviously you listen to us, and JJ's album is way better than our podcast. So.
It depends what mood you're in, but even beyond just like leftists and specifically communists, because it's a pretty specifically communist album. But beyond that, though, just it's good hip hop. Like it's good rap. If you like rap, this is a good rap album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone that I know and respect compared it to Ghostface's Supreme Clientele, which I think is very apt.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an apt comparison. Sound-wise and style of it, and I think it's
Energy,
pretty close to that sonically, and just add a bunch of commie shit into it, and not,
And bada bing, bada boom.
Hell yeah! Wow, that's a fantastic compliment.
Yeah, that's why I keep repeating it.
Yeah. Well, we are super proud of you. Everyone, please check out.
Ghost Gun Red Menace is the name of it.
Yes, Ghost Gun Red Menace. Check out that album anywhere you listen to music, and hopefully on Bandcamp soon, per Charlie's
And even
request.
places you don't listen to music.
Yeah, and the bar,
Jukebox.
when you go to the bar and you have the jukebox, and you pay like $6 so you can play one song.
If you find a
repeat all
USB
night.
drive sitting on a table somewhere in your travels, just plug it into your computer. It's probably got that album on it.
If they're cool.
Yeah, I definitely put it there.
Speaking of fire, speaking of straight hot shit.
we're serving the cities of Portland, Baltimore, and the Middle Michigan area with
had
not
it too
JJ's
good for
album,
too long,
unfortunately. Portland is currently or reached 113 degrees today.
Cool.
Yeesh.
Even
Which-
hotter.
That is hot for Texas.
That's hot for
that is hot for Texas.
Los Angeles.
That's hot for like cities that are like used to it being hot. It's like, oh wow, that's a real scorcher out there today. You know, don't
How
fucking.
hot is it?
113 degrees in Portland though is like double what it should be this time of
It's
year.
pretty fucked up, yeah.
They don't have AC the same way in Portland that we do in Texas or LA. Like,
Yeah.
They have a pretty big homeless population because the weather's supposed to be mild all year long. You know, if I'm putting on my conspiracy hat, they aimed the big dish in the sky at Portland to kind of get rid of some of the homeless population faster.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
that's
the
definitely it. Yep.
The heat gun.
the Elon Musk slow internet thing.
Yeah.
Sky-
Skylink, whatever the fuck it's
Skynet.
called.
Yeah.
Skynet. Yeah, Skynet basically.
One of those.
They aimed all of them at Portland, and that's why it's so
That
hot.
doesn't actually no. Starlink doesn't work above 105 degrees or something.
Yeah. Well, it just,
Well, that's
yeah.
why the internet went down because they were focusing it.
Yeah,
on
the
Portland.
it's too much for the CPU to handle both of those things, so it's got to do one or the other.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Baltimore has experienced some
Uh-huh.
earthquakes.
Cool. I
Oh,
did
is
find out that there is
Total-
fracking that happens in Baltimore. So
Okay, I was about to say they're
Unrelated,
not
I'm
well
sure.
a
That's
fault
just-
line, right?
It just sounds like the consequences of their own actions. Then maybe, possibly.
It sounds like the real fault. I'll let you work out the rest of that one
Uh,
yourself.
look-
That's a puzzler.
Good. Wow. That. All right. Bo, thank you
Looking
for
up
maybe
a-
it'll
that.
just
Looking up
No
a map
problem.
of
You're
fault
welcome.
lines, and I'm not seeing any on the East Coast at all for thousands of miles.
yeah, historically not. Not since like
That's what took down that building in Florida, actually.
Yeah, but when you're fracking your mud and dirt,
when you're swamp city,
you know,
because Baltimore is literally just a swamp.
why are half of the cities in the United States built on swamps?
They were real horny for building cities on swamps in the fucking 1700s.
Is it like some sort of like, oh, it's more defensible because it's in a swamp and it's haunted, and that's why the natives won't
British
come?
can't get us.
It was the only land that the natives didn't go to because they were like, ew, gross. No, we don't want to live in a swamp. So then the white people came over and they're like, cool swamp.
Pip pip cheerio.
Yeah,
we live
but
in a
then-
swamp, governor.
but
I
yeah.
mean, that's all
Yeah.
Scotland is basically, right? Peat bogs and
Building in swamps is one of the things that directly led to the Atlantic slave trade because there's a lot of mosquitoes and people kept dying of malaria. But, what is it? West Africans were known to not get malaria. So it helped contribute to it.
I did not know that. That
Is-
sucks.
Is this like actually?
No,
or that like were
That's
just
actually
they were just making up like, oh yeah, these guys are totally
I think it's a
malaria-proof.
I
no,
think
the
it's
white
a,
people kept dying, and so they tried to get. The
I
black
think it's a
people
little
to
bit
do
of
it,
I
the
think
work
it's a little
for
bit of
them.
both. I do believe that there is some sort of resistance to malaria from in certain populations, and one of those I think happens to be West Africans. I could be totally wrong about this, but
Well, that's a disease that like we get if we go there, right?
right. But
So it's just an immunity build up over centuries, probably.
right, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, notably immune to malaria.
Well,
The Irish.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've never gotten it, so
JJ, I've never gotten it.
Ipso fucking facto, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Tornado Alley, Midland, Michigan. Middle.
the
mid-Michigan.
middle of Michigan.
Central
One of those
Michigan.
places.
Central Michigan. Tornado Alley. Also experiencing four tornadoes
Holy
today. Was that
shit.
what it was?
Well, maybe the people of Michigan need to
yeah,
vote for better wind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 tornadoes confirmed yesterday. Severe storms happening on the East Coast. Here in Texas, there have been some thunderstorms, and it feels like the whole United States
Well-
is just falling apart now that we have.
Yeah,
Biden
I
in
actually
office.
just found
That's
out
what it
that
is, yep.
this stretch of the I-5 in California, or as I would say it, the 5 in California,
Nice. Very good.
is
Nice,
that's called
good.
the Grapevine because it goes through wine country, is all on fire. The entire thing, 250 acres at this point, and that was about an hour ago, so it's probably more.
Hot damn.
That's what happens when you don't have public works ready to take care of your cigarette butt that you.
Oh
throw
no,
out of your
see,
window. Back in the
California
day.
does, but what it does is it uses slave labor by using the prisons and the prison population. It's
Yeah,
great.
they pay those guys to stand on the side of the road, so when you throw a butt out and it lights a little bit of grass on fire, someone runs up to it and blows on it, so the fire gets bigger.
I've done prison labor.
Was it
Yes.
as shitty as it sounds,
Well,
JJ?
I did some different kinds of prison labor. Like literally, one of my bids, I was carrying rocks from the bottom of a hill to the top of a hill and then dumping them into a pile, and then
Literally,
Literally fucking like
Right.
ancient
Looney
Greek
Tunes
torture,
sort of.
yeah.
they told us we were building something, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Yeah,
You were building a fucking pile of rocks, apparently. Yeah.
yeah.
What fucking
But I
assholes.
made like I think 75 cents a day, so it was pretty sweet.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's
you
a-
could
that's
buy
a
like
great gig,
you could buy a
yeah.
ramen
Yeah.
in like 5 weeks.
Big spender.
Jesus, that sucks. Well, I thank you, JJ, for your contribution to the infrastructure of the United States of America. Prison labor is literally the only work that is going into the U.S. infrastructure right now.
Yeah,
so
that rock pile is probably like the
Oh, it's
nicest,
huge now.
newest thing.
Yeah, it's
in
getting
the
big.
tri-state area, so
It's getting big.
yeah.
When the tornadoes run through, that will be all that stands.
No, it just gives tornadoes
man.
weapons to throw at people. That's what the pile was for. It's for when tornadoes come through, they pick the rocks up and throw them at people.
Well, the tornado, of course, is just trying to make sure there's always more labor for the prisoners. To
Which
do.
honestly is woke.
It's a circle of life. Really.
Nature is the
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
job creator.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Thank you, nature. And speaking of nature, speaking of things just fuck, that's a terrible transition.
King
Oh,
of
because
segues,
they've all
folks.
been wonderful.
Come
on.
They've all been wonderful.
I guess all of these are really great stories, and the earth is healing, and so of course so are the Colorado cops. The headline is Colorado cops kill cop killer killer.
Yeah,
Nice.
So walk
is
us
this
through
good?
this. Walk,
Material?
Nailed it.
What's the fucking order of operations on this?
So
Because I can't pass
please
a
ex-
fucking,
yeah, please excuse
ninth
my
grade
dear
math
Anton.
class.
You would be surprised, Bo. Ninth grade math is incredibly difficult nowadays.
Algebra.
Actually,
can be
you're in
fucking,
Texas.
you
Never
know?
mind. I don't know what you're. It's probably really easy.
It involves a lot more Jesus riding
Oh.
dinosaurs than you'd think, and like you'd already expect a lot.
yeah, the parable of the fish and the loaves. Like, I don't fucking know how many fish or loaves are even in the Bible story anymore because I've done so many goddamn math problems based on that scenario. In Colorado, a man was. I guess he armed himself and went out. The reporting says that he apparently said he was going to go out and kill cops.
King shit! Is there a king
Yeah.
shit sound effect we can hit?
Based.
So,
highly based.
we're going to be very careful about our messaging on this particular individual in this podcast due to some recent legislation passed by the Biden administration. But suffice it to say, an armed citizen was able to stop someone who conspired to commit murder. He shot the man that was going out and I guess hunting down
Cool,
cops.
okay. Not the order we wanted this in, but hey.
So a citizen stopped this guy. So that's fine and normal, and then the cops show up and shoot the guy that shot the guy that was shooting cops.
Uh-huh.
So friendly fire, essentially.
Basically is
Except-
friendly fire.
Except not friendly fire because, you know, it's working class versus, you know, people who are fundamentally opposed to the working class. That is the police. So really, this guy was just simping hard.
Yes, he was simping incredibly hard. Apparently the responding officer just thought that he was the cop killer.
Which, you know, fair play. I mean, like, what kind of fucking...
So fucking weirdo with a gun.
Yeah, just some dude with a gun, like, you know, I'm not taking chances to ask, like, hey there, sorry, pal, you wouldn't happen to be the guy going around shooting police officers, because by the time
I
you ask
still
him,
still
you
feel
know,
like
I mean,
I still
first
feel
of
like
all- Pretty
no,
funny.
I
That'd be
do
pretty
think
funny if he
actually
did
you
that.
can ask that. I really do. You can if you have a gun and you point it at someone, you can basically ask whatever questions you want.
Well, see, that's what you do. You point the gun, then you ask. But then,
I've
see,
seen-
they've got it all backwards. A
Uh-huh.
lot of these guys are all shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah,
You
it's-
threaten to shoot first.
So wait,
ask questions later.
did the first guy kill a cop?
That's unclear to me.
The first
Don't
guy
think so. Yes.
he killed a police officer.
He did.
The gunman killed a police
Okay.
officer.
Okay.
Yes.
The gunman was fatally shot by John Hurley. Johnny Hurley. That's the name of the man that
That's from
shot
Lost.
the gunman.
Wait, what kind of OK
He-
Corral
he-
shit is this?
Yeah, it's a daisy chain of cop killing.
Johnny Hurley, for some he shot let's see, Ronald Troik. Ronald Troik.
This is
I don't know.
this is more
Johnny
characters
shot
than
Ronald.
Les Mis at this point.
I know.
Real
Johnny shot
ensemble.
Ronald with a handgun, and then Johnny went and picked up the rifle
You're
that Ronald
just
had shot the cop
yeah,
with
this is,
for some
you're,
reason.
You're just this is the outsiders. This is
Yeah.
the outsiders. This is what you're doing.
Gallant
Magnolia
gunned down a
of
police
cop killing.
officer, but Goofus,
Goofus.
gunned down.
So wait though, does that make this cop like fucking cop of the week for killing the guy who killed the cop killer?
I don't know.
I'm so
We should have done
Again,
more
don't
research.
know.
this man,
I feel
we gotta get a fucking PhD on this or something.
yeah.
because
I
this
need
is
to be
above
doing
our heads.
research before
Oh.
this. Jesus.
How many
Yeah, we gotta
cops
call
could a
Dr.
cop
Sophie.
killer kill if a cop killer could kill cops? Is my question.
Indeed.
Did I nail it? I nailed that, I think.
You nailed it. Knock
There
it
you
out of
go,
the
buddy.
fucking park, buddy.
I don't know. This guy, it doesn't say that he has. It doesn't say why, but he has a 4-page handwritten manifesto, which he left in his apartment, which he vowed to kill as many police officers as I possibly.
Normal.
Do we
could.
have his ad?
And you know what?
Cool.
If
Normalize it.
which you know,
Jesus.
Again, I will
just hope I don't die without killing any of you pigs. He wrote. So, you know, maybe he has a good reason. Maybe he's crazy. There's no telling yet. The cops are certainly staying pretty tight-lipped after killing the guy that.
was killing the guy.
Sounds like he's been
Yeah.
listening to a little bit of that
Yeah.
Ghost Gun Red Menace. Am I right, fellas? Plug.
Hey,
Plug.
Yeah, we're gonna hate to find out that he was listening to the TrueAnon podcast all the time.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was he real? Wait, is that real?
Please, was he not listening to
Alright.
our podcast? Listen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Because that would have been a cool
Well, he
detail.
definitely he's a murderer.
Yeah.
He definitely listens to podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking psychopath.
Just thinks other people are his friends in his brain.
Or worse yet, records them.
yeah.
The person who killed the cop. I have a quote here from one of the news stories in the manifesto. Presumably, writes, "We the people were never your enemy, but we are now." And I'm not sure where does that come from? Like, I feel like we were in fact the enemy the whole
Yeah,
time.
always. I think that's his own thought
Yeah,
process.
we were always the enemy. That's some
Yes,
fucking,
That's his. Yeah, it's his
That's some white
radicalization.
people bullshit.
He didn't realize before that we were the enemy. But yeah, see, this is the problem. Before you're fully radicalized, you shouldn't go out and kill cops yet. Is my point.
Yeah, yeah. Wait
You want to wait till you finish the reading.
Go to a couple book clubs.
Read State and Revolution.
Yes, you have to at least get to Lenin.
Wait to figure out what I mean when I say we dismantle the cops. We dismantle the police forces. You know, I mean limb from limb. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
you know,
if you defend the police, they'll shoot you.
The cop,
That's just what it is.
The cop was shooting the guy that was
that's a good
policing
takeaway.
other citizens with his handgun. You know, if only this innocent bystander hadn't tried to intervene, maybe he would be alive today. So
Maybe.
you know,
Who's to say?
can't wait
Sad.
for this to also happen.
Bootlicking will
in
get you
Houston.
killed.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
Texas just legalized concealed carry of handguns with no license. So this is going to happen a lot more often. You thought
What?
that you thought that friendly fire was a problem when the police were just doing it to themselves. Wait until the police are doing it to citizens. We're gonna have
Wow.
people are
Yeah.
gonna be the right wingers gonna be really fucking mad at cops. Finally, it's gonna be because they're like stopping like mass shootings, and the cops are still just killing everyone. And it's like literally, you killed more people than the mass shooter did. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Literally, we're out here defending our communities, and they're just doing what they do, being like, no, we do that, and we will kill everyone who decides to defend. We're useless if you don't let us kill.
Yeah.
That is sort of the pitch these days.
Which
I
you know
mean,
what?
yeah.
We're useless if you don't let us kill. That was what they said in 1977 when Houston HPD killed Joe Campos Torres in 1977. He was arrested on May 5th for alleged disorderly conduct at a bar and taken to a hideaway near Buffalo Bayou called The Hole, where six police officers beat him for hours before taking him to the city jail. When they arrived at the jail, his injuries were so severe that officials ordered the officers to take him to the hospital instead. Rather than take him to the hospital, officers took him back to the bayou, beat him some more, and dumped his body in the water. His body was recovered on the banks of the bayou 3 days later. 2 officers involved were convicted of negligible homicide, a misdemeanor, and sentenced to 1 year's probation and $1 fines.
I
Which, to
remember-
be fair, was a lot more back then.
Yeah, I do remember reading this like a couple years back, actually. I like the name of Joe Campos Torres kind of like slipped my mind though. Yeah, no, I totally remember reading about this. It was the $1 thing that stuck out really.
Yeah.
It's incredibly fucked.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically $5
Well, also-
now. Like you're getting a quarter pounder for that either way.
I mean, also just the telling on themselves that negligible homicide suggests that everything they did, from repeated beatings to dumping the body in the water, is all acceptable. You're just not supposed to kill them in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what happened in Houston, and I believe yesterday or today, the new Houston Police Chief Troy Finner issued a formal public apology to Joe's family. He was a Mexican American Vietnam War veteran, and he's finally, as of today, Troy Finner and Mayor Sylvester Turner apologized privately to 3 of Torres's relatives, and then has now spoken directly at the SER Center for Progress. Where extended family and roughly 100 community members attended.
I mean, that's great and all, but he is still dead.
This is
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
Juneteenth is the official holiday, and we've apologized for a murder that happened 40 years ago.
Right.
Yep.
This is the thing. It's like it's such a bummer because like this is actually good. It is good to reckon with and acknowledge all of these things. I'm still constantly frustrated that we have to only reckon with and then put up a monument to the dead and then just move on.
The dead also should be noted of, fucking 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Just all we're allowed to do with like this fucking weird liberalism is just reckon with the past. Just understand our original sins, repent for them, and then we're fine. We just repent. That's all we get to do.
It's only been 40 years. Those officers are probably still kicking.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we
I
could.
mean, unless they couldn't pay that $1 fine.
I mean, I'd like to. I mean, sure,
Yeah.
we could, arrange something that
Yeah,
would
but, like,
just
are
leave them
they-
kicking.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, are they in jail? Like, there is no statute of limitations for murder. Like, is justice actually served?
No, they are
That's
not.
the thing. Is, I mean, I could
Exactly.
just be, not. I didn't do any research for this one, obviously, beforehand. I'm reading through, but I'm not seeing like what happened to these officers. Why is none of the articles I'm looking at mentioning what they're doing?
Well, Charlie, that doesn't matter because they said they're sorry.
I have to know where they are.
Well, one of them is
Damn it.
a
They
famous
served their
senator.
time.
Yeah, well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. One of them's the president of the United States of America.
One of
Our
them's
hands are tied.
one of them's a union rep. One of them is the mans the desk at the station every day.
Right. He didn't even attend the apology.
No, 100% no.
All right.
Involved in Joe Campos Torres is.
I'm looking. I'm not seeing a whole lot of information.
Wow, they
Yep.
okay. Terry W. Denson and Stephen Orlando were tried on state murder charges. They were convicted of negligent homicide, received 1 year probation and $1 fine. Denson, Orlando, and fired officer Joseph Janish were later convicted of federal civil rights violations in 1978 and served 9 months in prison.
Jesus.
That's it? There was
Apparently.
an uprising in
I
Moody
did longer
Park.
than that on my last probation violation.
Yeah. Jesus.
Jesus.
I mean, and things really haven't changed either. Chauvin's only getting 22 and a half years.
JJ sold
that is
sold like
still way
one
better than 9
cigarette
months.
to someone at a bar, and they gave him $1 because they bummed a cigarette off of him, and that was a probation violation. They put him back in jail for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't violate anyone's civil rights, apparently. Like these officers.
These officers did murder on top of federal civil rights violations. They didn't
If I
just,
had a gun in my house, I would go to jail for 10 years.
Yeah,
Just having the gun.
oh man. Yeah, JJ, who knows what you'd do with that? You might, stop a cop killer, and then, the officers would be forced to shoot you. And that would be putting yourself
That'd be
in danger and putting officers in danger, so.
I
That
really
would just
do
be
need
the
them to
fucking-
roll back these gun laws, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do. I need to open my safe. Sorry, parody. Satire.
Apparently, also a year after the murder, a riot. It says riot in the Wikipedia article, but it was a protest, an uprising that was started in Moody Park. Once a Cinco de Mayo fiesta event ended at the park, between 5,000 and 6,000 people were in attendance.
Cool.
That fucking
And so they're
rules.
looking
Yeah.
to also change that officially from a riot to an uprising, I think is what they said. And then talking about I guess have a some sort of city event that happens there, maybe. That's kind of weird and dumb. I mean, it's good,
yeah,
but
as I think-
as a response to well, I'm sorry that he was murdered, so how about we do the third Friday of May? Is that all right? We can fit it in.
I mean, kind of, yeah. As Charlie initially pointed out, that's all you get in
Yeah.
this kind of situation is
weird holidays.
You maybe get a fucking, and it's the kind of holiday too where it's the local radio station says it once and then fucking nothing else past that point.
Yeah, your AMP FM affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this is not just some random dingus that got picked up for fighting in a bar. This is literally a Vietnam War veteran that these officers.
This is the intro to Rambo, but instead of being a movie and being a white guy, where it's just hey, we rough him up a little bit and just let him keep going. It's real life where they just murder
Wow,
you.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. In a universe where there's only one Rambo movie and it's like 10 minutes long tops.
And Rambo is Ramon.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh man! Wow, that's.
I could make that joke.
Thank you,
Everyone stop.
Thank you, new HPD Chief Finner, for apologizing. Honestly, you know what? Art Acevedo talked about how fucking woke he was, and this is like head and shoulders above fucking anything Art Acevedo did.
Yeah, which again is not much.
Like
but,
the bar is on the floor, and he's crossed it. So you know, there's a new bar.
Wait, let me
There's a
Google
new bar for.
Art Acevedo height.
He's Mexican. He's short.
He is very short.
Okay. Cool.
He's-
Great.
He's a short race trader. That's all I need to know.
Portable.
He is. Oh, it doesn't say here. Interesting. It says he's 56, but that's all I got.
Very interesting.
He was born in Cuba in 1964. Oh no.
Oh no! So he's not even Mexican. He's a Cusano.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis can say that. Wow. Wow. God damn it! It's still there. It says, yeah, his height is nowhere. He's pretty short. He's
Oh, but he might be part white then. So then he might break 5'8".
yeah. You know,
Most of us don't.
hitting that good average height.
Mhm.
So yeah. Thanks, Chief Finner. You've done well. And you know, another big thank you as well that we have to extend to Google. Google's launching.
Thank you, Google. We love you, Google.
Please put our podcast in the trending section, Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google. Please, Google. If we keep saying, much like, you know, some fucking ancient, like, forgotten deity, if we keep speaking its name, it will notice us and grant us immeasurable power. So Google.
Google
Please, Google.
Yeah, Google Senpai. Please notice us.
Google Senpai, yes. Jesus.
What did Google do?
Nissan is launching a new medical app outside of the United States. It is a dermatology AI app that has won approval for use in the EU, but not with the FDA. Apparently, machines have matched or outperformed expert dermatologists in studies in which algorithms and doctors scrutinize images from past patients. There's little evidence from clinical trials deploying such technology, and no AI image analysis tools are approved for dermatologists to use in the U.S. currently. So
you're telling me that before we fixed the notoriously and constantly racist thing we keep creating, artificial intelligence, we have taught it to analyze skin.
yes, it's
Before we fix the other thing.
It's definitely not racist this time.
See, I thought you were gonna say the notoriously racist practice of dermatology.
I would say that, honestly, there you go.
Both of these we've combined with your powers, with your racism combined.
I mean, we were talking about it before the show started, but yeah, there is an issue with anyone with darker skin, in particular black people. Like, there's no documentation of how to like recognize certain skin ailments
Because it's just not documented.
Because no one ever bothered to think, like, you know, black people have skin or they get sick or something. I don't know. Like,
I mean, to be fair,
Well,
it's
I
being
mean, it's
deployed
just-
in Europe, and Europe is like basically, you know,
oh yeah, there's never been a black person in Europe ever. That's right. I
yeah,
forgot.
it's just lily white the whole way.
Always has been, apparently, too.
Yeah, no
Hasn't ever been like, you know, an African pope at some point.
melanin. I hardly knew her.
I love that we're
That's not a pun.
Melatonin. I hardly knew her.
No, that's totally well. That is true, but that's very different.
Oh, okay.
Because that's just because you have the sleep patterns of a crackhead.
Right. Cool. Thanks, Europe, for being racist once again and letting Google be racist in Europe.
I love
surprised
how
that-
we're just I love how we're just layering like echoes of phrenology on top of other echoes of phrenology. It's just phrenology all the way down somehow.
Well, okay.
still.
To be fair, like recognizing topical skin conditions is kind of phrenology, but like in the way that like like there's not really any other way to do it. Like
You gotta eyeball
I mean,
it.
yeah. How are
There
you
is-
supposed to know what someone's
'cause-
vibe is like if you don't know the exact time of their birth, so that you can tell what their rising sign is?
Can't help being a Leo.
I always measure my
Gemini,
zits with
and it's-
calipers.
With calipers.
Oh,
I mean,
That's how you know
Tweezers
if it's a
have them
zit
afterwards,
or
too.
ingrown hair. You know what I mean?
tweezers are
And
basically
you-
just mini calipers.
Yeah, you use the calipers to pull the hair out. I mean, this is age-old techniques here.
I am kind of surprised that Europe, like the EU, okayed this, because it seems like it potentially like a huge breach of privacy, and Europe's usually a little bit better when it comes to like protecting
Yeah,
privacy.
I was gonna say like,
Yeah.
there's no way that Google can guarantee that every photo that they put in there is privatized and scrubbed and then not leaked. And the fact that this is like a medical thing means that maybe it's like being deployed to specific users or something.
Okay.
No.
What if? Hear me out. What if you're signing into a website, a fucking year from now, and the thing pops up. Select all images containing eczema.
It's like reCAPTCHA, and it's just eczema.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's the future.
Goddamn. I mean,
But do you know what's so fucking stellar about this machine, though? It's the fact that it says it matches or outperforms expert dermatologists. And you know what I love? Literally replacing like fallible, somewhat shitty people with a machine that doesn't get
field
better.
of dermatology.
Like it's literally like, okay, so dermatologists are currently at like X% success rate of determining these things. We found a machine that can do it at X plus 5%. So now it's just like that percent forever instead of, I don't know, like just getting other people to be dermatologists or like
see, Charlie,
making them better at
the
it.
thing is, the way that they measured this is they took like old pictures, like pictures that they had in their file system of patients, conditions, and they said, all right, based on just this picture, I want you to tell me what this patient has. No conversation.
Oh, no.
None of the notes that they had. None of the like stuff that the patient tells you when you're in a consult. Literally just off of the pictures, the humans scored worse.
No, this is even worse. You're right. This is a fucking recommender algorithm, which
Yeah,
means that
it's
literally,
just-
like, I click on like hot pants on fucking Amazon, and then eventually it says that's all I want. And like, this is literally just gonna think everything is cancer within like 5 years because it's like, well, you
Yeah,
want that
it's-
answer. You want the cancer
it's-
diagnosis because that's the safe one.
You want the cancer
Yeah,
answer.
all your triage is just WebMD.
Yeah, no. And United Healthcare is doing that thing where, well, it came out that they're officially doing that thing where they're denying like emergency room visits coverage if it wasn't a real emergency. That's like an official thing that they're
Are
doing.
they using a computer to determine if it's a real emergency or not?
What I'm
Like,
assuming is that
scream into the microphone will determine if it's painful enough.
yeah, what I'm assuming is that that's the next Google thing. That, or it's going to look at your 23andMe samples. They're going to get clearance finally to look at your 23andMe samples and then determine like how much car insurance should cost you. Which
Yeah,
yes,
it's gonna be like those Amazon grocery stores where they just have a camera that checks what you grab and they charge it to your credit card automatically. You're just gonna go into the hospital and they're just gonna have surveillance everywhere, seeing what health care you receive and just subtract it automatically by your face scan.
you know how they did the like the sugar tax in New York? Isn't that they did like a sugar tax?
Yeah.
They're gonna, that's what the Amazon stores are going to do next. They're going to analyze your like BMI
That's
and then
true,
charge
they
you
are.
more for junk food based on your BMI. They're like, we're going to like make it easier for people to eat healthy.
Right, and like a bunch of like Karens in the middle of winter wearing a puffy coat are gonna be screaming at the manager at Amazon, being like, "You charged me 50 cents more for fucking chips, but I sent you my weight. I send it every week."
These are blue corn chips. These are blue corn tortilla chips. Why are they unhealthy? It's like, ma'am, I don't make
Wait,
the
and they already made that like Amazon thing where they like scan like a picture of you and tell you that you're fat and tell you how to not be fat, right? Like that does
wasn't
exist.
wasn't it just
That
We
was
Fit?
WeFit, yes.
That was We Fit.
No, it's
You
yes,
stand
in
on
the
the
Amazon
scale,
thing.
and no matter how much you weigh, it says, "Wow, you fat ass."
Shigeru Miyamoto shows up on your screen and he just looks at you disappointedly.
That was it. It was
Shigeru
the
Miyamoto shows up the next time you have lunch and slaps your fucking fork a knife out of your hands. Like, no.
That's right. It was
That's enough.
It was the Amazon Halo band.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You remember that one? The thing that literally is always on and listening to you, and then like literally sends you notifications on your phone saying like you're being kind of a bitch. Have you considered Upspeak?
Yeah, you're being super
It
negative.
literally does that.
You're being a little bit negative to your boss. Have you
Hey,
tried?
sounds like my ex-girlfriend, if you know what I mean.
Whoa! Wow, Dennis, that was almost better than the Dennis the Menace joke. It was real close.
My friggin' wife.
Almost.
My friggin' wife, my ball and chain,
the old lady.
my old lady.
Can't live with him, can't kill him.
Jesus
it.
Christ!
I am on trial for murder right now, actually.
Unrelated, but
Just so you know,
So
this
you
is
might
parody.
be able to kill him, am I right, fellas?
that's a great. You know what? Fucking, I'm gonna take this conversation a totally different direction. Because
Thank you.
Fuck it. That'd be a great like fucking stand-up bit or something. Is like stand-up hack comedian guy who does like boomer I hate my wife jokes, but it becomes more and more apparent that he definitely killed
Yeah.
his wife.
That's just like the king of
Like, over the
comedy,
course of
right?
the set. I guess so, yeah. This is I think you should leave season 2.
Can't live with him, can't send the kids away for the weekend and stage a car accident, am I right, fellas?
Boy, it's hot in here, and he tugs at his
Whoa.
fucking collar a little bit. You see, there's some blood stains on there. It's great.
Culture is dead.
Absolutely.
dead.
And we're just endlessly churning
So-
back through the backlog of
And
culture.
we are sucking and fucking its corpse. Yeah.
Yes, munging the corpse of
we
culture.
killed-
As Mark Fisher wrote.
As Mark Fisher wrote.
Yeah, Mark Fisher totally
Oh,
wrote
okay.
about
Yeah.
I got about halfway through Capitalist Realism, and then another book came in the mail that I wanted to read more.
that. Yeah, that's about how that goes.
Yeah.
I can't blame you for that one.
It was
Like literally
It was
anything
about the
else.
plight of the
like-
Irish. It really was.
JJ, you're so fucking.
I'm being serious. It was called One Man's Terrorist: A Political History of the IRA. I'm being
Oh
totally
my
serious.
God.
Hell yeah.
I 100% believe you too.
That's king shit.
Hell yeah. Well,
No, that's the opposite of king shit.
Yeah, down with the loyalists.
Well, I guess we've gotten enough king shit packed into one podcast, so it's time for me to say the thing to let everyone know that if they made it this far, that they're all true comrades of the podcast. We want to thank everybody for sticking around through the whole thing. We'd like to shout out all of our patrons. Thank you for supporting us, but we'd like to especially thank Scott, Jorge, Tim, the Warlock Phosphorus, Alex, Alan, Brady, Broops, Caleb, Eli, Ian, John, Lizzie, Malin, Olive, Richard. Actually, I fixed the top one, not the bottom one. Sorry.
Which Richard is atop? Which Richard is bottom?
But we'd like to
Double
especially
dicks.
thank Scott, Jorge, Tim, the Warlock Phosphorus, Aaron, Alex, Alan, Brady, Broops, Caleb, Eli, John, Lizzie, Malwin, Olive, Richard, Rufus, Samantha, Sophia, the Brilliant Dr. Fly, Tyler, the Reverend Lawn Gnome, Dylan, and of course our newest patrons, Doug and Harmony. Y'all keep the show plugging along. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening.
Okay. What if it was Bone Dugs and Harmony?
Doug's-
Nice.
I'm so stupid, y'all. Like so
I
goddamn
mean,
dumb.
it's about how the Patreon episodes go. So if you support us and you listen
Want
to
more of
those, that's why people are patrons. That's what they come back for. And if
Yep.
if that's something that interests you, remember we have our $5 a month tier that gives you access to a bonus episode every week, as well as access to our exclusive Patreon only projects such as Dolphins and Garages, bonus episodes that Zach does sometimes. Charlie is doing a thing. So
I'll get around to it.
yeah, we also have our $1 a month tier open because if you want to support us, we want to empower you to do that any way that you can. Remember, subscribing to our Patreon is cheaper than paying dues to the IWW. But
Not to flex on the IWW.
Not to flex in the
Yeah.
WW, but I think we're
Weird
you know,
shots fired.
we're dropping bombs even. So yeah, so please join your local IWW, but please also check out our Patreon content if you'd like any of those episodes, if they look interesting. If you get on Patreon and you see that they're locked and you go, oh, I'd like to listen to this one that's not unlocked yet, you can do that, or you can pay us to get access to it, I guess. Anyways, we also
I'm on
have
a bunch of them. I'm on a bunch of those behind the paywall ones.
yeah.
Haven't seen a nickel from these fellas, but
One day JJ will get you one of those purple mattresses. Okay, it'll just show up on your front porch.
be like sleeping with Grimace. which
I've done that before.
which I've never fantasized about, by the way.
Man, Freud is our podcast, our poor podcast is just echoing through all the halls of your all these poor old philosophers.
Freud is thrusting in his grave.
He's thrusting in his grave. There we go.
Freud
All right.
feverishly masturbating in his grave.
Yeah. JJ, tell us where people can find you, follow you, where they can meet up with you if they want.
Yeah, I'm at JJ Demonic. My name is JJ Demon, my stage name, but it's at JJ Demonic because right away, right after I got signed, some asshole snatched it up and has been squatting on it now for like 13 years. So I don't have at JJ Demon, at JJ Demonic, and then stream.
Sounds like it's time for some targeted
It
harassment.
does. It really does. And stream my new album, Ghost Gun Red Menace, wherever you stream music, wherever you steal music. I don't care if you steal it. I really don't. Steal it however you can hear it, because if you're the type of person that will like this, you'll love it so much that you will become a fan. So just find a way to listen to Ghost Gun Red Menace and listen to it and show it to people. It'll demonstrate how cool you are, how serious of a comrade you are, or not serious. Whatever you're going for is what it's going to do for you, as we established earlier.
It was talking about it making your boobs and or dick bigger and or smaller. Was that this episode or the
I think it was-
Patreon? Because we got to get that secret out to the public.
Yeah,
It's one of them.
We had paywalled that, but that should be public knowledge, certainly.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. It should be like all research, open source.
Uh-huh.
Fucking,
Copy left.
Yeah.
Every-
exactly.
Yeah.
Listening to me modifies your body in whatever way you want it modified. It's a secret that we're letting out here on this episode of the podcast. So check out
You know what?
what.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, check it out. Check out the new album. And also
support-
subscribe to these guys' Patreons. You'll hear me tell a bunch
Yeah.
of crazy stories.
support our pretty-
Everyone go mass report at JJ Demon for being a fake account. See if
No,
you can't
don't.
unlock that.
They might accidentally
Yeah.
mass report me.
It's time for some targeted harassment, our little psychic dolphins. Okay?
I feel like the Wicked Witch of the West at the end of the movie.
My pretty little psychic dolphin.
Yeah, you gotta throw a
Oh,
in
boy.
there.
Can't quite do that.
I
There
used
you
to
go.
do that on songs. If you listen to my mixtape songs from 2012, I used to laugh maniacally. It was like a thing. Yeah, I know.
It's a little cringe.
It's unfortunate. I know.
It's
rules,
we've
actually.
grown to love it more and more as the years go by. Much as we've grown to love doing this main podcast together, but there are also all sorts of other side projects. I know Charlie and Dennis are working together on one of them. Is there
Yep.
any update on
Well, so is Bo.
wow, all three of
Hi.
y'all
Yeah.
traitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bo is. Yeah, Dolphins of Garage's new episode 3, coming out at the end of the month. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get episode 5.
Nice, 2 months ahead. Interesting. Charlie, any update on maybe some projects that we might be teasing at some point?
No, I've been so tired and busy.
Cool. All right,
I
we'll
haven't
check
done
in.
shit since we last talked.
Relatable. We'll check in on that next month. Anyways, you
We'll
can
check on the next one.
you can find me playing Subnautica and/or Destiny 2. So that's all the update that we have, folks. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please don't wreck on your way into or home from work as you listen to this, and come back next week for more fun, good podcasting.
Yep. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.
I
I just got hell, dog. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. From your house to the courthouse to the jail cell to the cold grave. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. I'll only ever see you as an enemy. Your whole job's like a me away. Single kid, no face tags. Early on, I had to face facts. Mask on, get it tossed quick. They'll be like, damn, where the case at? Every time I gotta take a piss, nervous that they're gonna take me in. Every time they're in my radius, feeling less than Homo sapien. Statistically, your job be dangerous. I was more risk paying houses. Should I say it isn't dangerous for you? Black people getting taken now. And you'll be looking for a reason. The rich man's your master. AC, AB, all cops are bastards. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. From your house to the courthouse to the jail cell to the cold grave. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. I'll only ever see you as an enemy. Your whole job's like a meal away. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. From your house to the courthouse to the jail cell to the cold grave. The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs. I'll only ever see you as an enemy. Your whole job's like a meal away.
Yeah, I went into the county at 17. That's the system, dog. That's forever.
There's nothing I can do about it, I guess. The price of freedom is a pound of my flesh. And every month the county count on a check. If I don't pay them, I'll be out on my dick. In and out like I ain't wearing a vest. I've been on paper since it's hair on my chest. I've been in places that were scared to death. They put me there like they don't care about shit. See, I got that word felon next to my name. And they look at my file and can tell I ain't telling on nobody. I ain't here to play their game, so lock 'em up. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, lock 'em up. The only way that they get paid is to lock 'em up. The only way to own slaves. I know that communities of color got it worse than me. I had to learn the hard way. They locked me up.
Yo, I got 2 years for my first robbery offense. But a black kid with the same charge, he got 10. Now, I've been on probation. I've been in and out ever since. But he ain't get to come home at all, not once. What is the sense? All them years gone rinse. We were born on the fence. What do you think is gonna happen when you lock us up as kids? We ain't coming home fixed. Shooting dope, hitting licks. Shooting folks, catching vicks. All of the trauma we held inside on the day that we had to go in is multiplied by 10. Now there's new wings on the prisons. And there's new additions on the jails. And there's laws written by politicians that get paid every time we fail. And there's new boys in the system. And a few girls in as well. It's a cruel world when the mission is to make a profit off of living hell. Come on.
The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs.
From your house to the courthouse to the jail cell to the cold grave.
The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs.
I'll only ever see you as an enemy. Your whole job's like a me away.
The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs.
From your house to the courthouse to the jail cell to the cold grave.
The PDs, the POs, the COs, the DAs.
I'll only ever see you as an enemy. Your whole job's like a me away. Riding around town, I got a pocket full of profit for the people at the top. It's all the same. Cause whenever I'm out, I'm just an object for the cops. They try to send me back inside. It's all a game. Riding around town, I got a pocket full of profit for the people at the top. It's all the same. Cause whenever I'm out, I'm just an object for the cops. They try to send me back inside. It's all a game.